According to a troubling new poll conducted by the Union of Jewish Students in France, 53% of the 1,007 French respondents said that they agreed with the statement that Zionism is an international organization that seeks to influence the world and societies to the Jews' benefit. At least half also said that Zionism was a racist ideology. Well, here to help us unpackage some of these poll results is France expert and former Israeli Knesset member Daniel Ben-Simon. Thank you so much for coming back in today.
Thank you for having me.
So my first question is, first off, the younger generation, 18 to 34-year-olds, we found were largely more likely to be holding anti-Semitic attitudes versus the older generation. So what happened in the last 20 years to cause something like that?
Listen, the last 20 years were not good for French Jews, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, they are still staying there. Last year, which according to the poll was a bad year, only 1,000 Jews came to Israel. So it's bad, but not as bad as the poll tells you. So it's old anti-Semitism, what you see, but now we have a problem with the Muslim anti-Semitism. So we don't know exactly which is worse. The old one is fading away. The new one, the Muslim one, the radical Islam against the Jews, is stronger. So if you ask any French Jew, what is the biggest threat on your life here and on your future, he will tell you the Islamic anti-Semitism, the hatred for the Jews coming from Islam. So the poll is going too far, and I don't think it reflects exactly.
So you're saying it's being tainted kind of by extreme views that are recently
I'm so sorry
in France
to tell you that's the case. It's not as bad as it looks in the polls. Life in France is one.
That's good news.
No, because I know that so many people in Israel would like to see everything dark outside of Israel. But there are 600,000 Jews in France. The last immigrants from France, it was the last drop of French Jews, was, as I said, more than 1,000. It is bad, not as bad. It is anti-Semitic, but in not the old-fashioned way. It is a new anti-Semitism which has to do more with also Israeli actions. So you have to put in together, for many anti-Semitic and anti-Semites, Israel and the Jews are together. Sure. So if Israel does something bad in Gaza, so we go to Paris to our neighbor and we tell him, wow, why did you operate like this in Gaza? He'll tell you, it's not me, it's Israel. So, but you are the same.
Well, so that brings me to kind of my next question, is that that for me is really a sign of ignorance about Israel and the Jewish people and the Jewish state, and that's also kind of reflected in this poll, which said, a majority of respondents didn't even know that Israel was created in 1948. Nearly a quarter of them said it was created after 1980 even. So do you think that that's driving a lot of this? You have to understand,
when you talk to French students, non-Jewish, they have a sense that Israel is a superpower. It has, they see Israel on the news on a daily basis. They use weapons. They have talked to American president whenever they want. They do this and that, and they get all kind of ideas from French papers about the richness of the Jews. So when you put a strong army and rich Jews and Israel together, you get a sense that they, like in the poll, they run the world, which is not the case. But for young people, it's so easy to be superficial and to say that Israel is as bad as they say, or Israel runs the world. It's not this case. Israel and France are doing very well in terms of relations. The problem is, for many Jews, the future of the Jews in France. According to the poll, and to many polls, the future is questionable. Maybe in 50 years, Jews will not be able to live in France, but for the time being, it's okay.
All right, well, it's good to hear that at least there's some positive news to come out of this poll.
That's right.
Daniel Ben-Simon, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you very much.